All right, it is straight up midnight, and so this is TSG After Dark. This is a Speed Gamers themed show in which we talk about the Speed Gamer stuff that we did in the past marathons, past events, kind of anything related to TSG. And then we'll talk about what's going on right now with the Speed Gamers, and then stuff in the future. So it's kind of an all things TSG, and so I was supposed to be doing it every other Monday, and now this is like the third or fourth Monday I've done it in a row, just because I've been trying to the my internet has been complete garbage, and think we fixed it. Long story short, because I don't want it to waste the cast. Um, Basically, my line they said had cuts on it. They think that was the issue, that like rainwater and stuff was causing packet loss and stuff. So, anyways, this episode is episode 3. Hopefully, we'll get right into the correct pattern or the schedule that I'm wanting to do, which is every other Monday. So, episode 4 will be 2 weeks from now. But now is episode 3, and we're going to talk about Mega Man, the Mega Man marathon we did back in 2009. Um,
Yay!
it's y'all are going to hear. So this is deja vu for a lot of people. You're going to hear a lot of the same stuff that you heard last week and the week before, and then we got like halfway through the Mega Man stuff, and I just had to cut the stream off. But so yeah, this was a very unique marathon. It's one of my favorite marathons. Like looking back on it, I'm probably going to say that about literally every marathon, just because all of
Dude,
them are special. Go ahead,
that was
Jagger.
back in the day when you wore yourself thin and then kept going.
Yeah, and so I looked up the dates because remember last time I talked about like it was only 3 weeks after the exact dates. So that Final Fantasy marathon, the one we did in 2009, which is at that point was our biggest event that we did, was July 17th to the 24th. It was a week long, and I have this group photo to kind of show you the size of our group uh, back then. So there's a couple people missing from this picture, like Chase said. This is outside of the sushi restaurant that we went to after um, Final Fantasy. And so you've seen our group photos that we do nowadays, and so this is you'll see just kind of the size of group that we went with back then. So that marathon was July 17th to the 24th, and then we had Mega Man, which was August 14th to the 17th. So this was like a 3 week turnaround, and Jagger was around in that era.
Mhm.
That week, like that week long marathon, it was taxing. Like I remember afterwards, we'd already announced the Mega Man marathon and stuff. There was really no takesy backsies or anything like that, but it was tough, and it was just I didn't really practice the best. We were just like let's get to the Mega Man marathon, and we could do this. Oh, I wanted to also I didn't show this last time, but this is the Mega Man marathon banner that Lindsay or LLK Anna Jazaboo she made. It was really cool, really good one. This is the banner that we used for the event, and it was for the Earth Day Network. So oh, I don't have the page pulled up. I was gonna list off like what everybody played. Let's see. Sorry, I had this pulled up last time. You'd figure I'd be super prepared for this, and I kind of was. I actually have stuff written down for this time since each episode I always said something like, or each time I filmed this, I'd have notes and stuff of this, and so I have stuff left over. But I forgot to pull up this wiki page. All right, Mega Man, I found it. So for that marathon, Baltus played Mega Man X Command Mission. Um, I played Mega Man X through X3. Cameron played Mega Man 1 through 3 and Mega Man 8. I think Chase ended up playing Mega Man 8. And
Mhm.
Daniel was originally scheduled to play Mega Man 8. So this thing might not be entirely accurate. Chase X4 through X6. Daniel Mega Man 4 through 7. Ference played Mega Man Battle Network 3 Blue. Gwellen played Mega Man Legends 2, Mega Man and Base, and Mega Man Network Transmission. Kilgard played Mega Man X8. That's a name I haven't heard in a while, but I think he was in a chat like a couple marathons back. Oscar
Totally.
played Mega Man 9, and then Phil played Mega Man 64, which is Mega Man Legends. Um,
Slight correction. I think Cameron played 1, 2, and 4, and Daniel played 3, 5, and 6. maybe 7 too.
Yeah, I think that's right too. Because I was actually watching through
Yeah.
the DVD, and that's what I remember hearing that. So I'm like, I don't know if this list is accurate, and I'm kind of just playing the teaser. For those that this was made by Delete, Repeat, or Stop, Delete, Repeat, Repeat, Delete, Stop. Was the username in the forums, and he did several of our teaser trailers. I think he did this one. There was a trailer for like the announcing all of our 2010 marathons and stuff like that. Anyways, he did a great job, and this was the Mega Man one that he did for the lead up to the event. And even though we were tired from after the Final Fantasy marathon and stuff like that, we were definitely really excited about this one because we had, well, the community really wanted to see us play it, and us ourselves, there were a lot of us who were big fans of Mega Man.
Short and sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's great about these type marathons, like Mega Man, Castlevania, as I mentioned earlier, none of the games, each of the games are not too taxing. Like even if it's feasible to even play through a game in its completion, like on your first time too. I remember when Mega Man, I think 9 and 10, both came out on the Wii. It was one of those games, not for your like typical person, but people that are really obsessed with Mega Man. They could sit through it and play through it through completion, even your first time through. Because I think first time through, they're what like probably 5 or 6 hour games or something around there. But yeah, so they're good marathon games. Let's see. Techno Turtle says, "Can't sleep. Glad you guys are still around." Hey, what's up, Techno Turtle? I like your name, by the way. Techno Turtle. Phil said, "Rob, can you take all the Zero games?" Sure. Did Rob end up playing any of the Zero games? I was watching some of the DVD stuff, and it's mentioned in the wrap up of the marathon. Like, Rob, it's too bad you didn't get to play your Zero games or whatever. And he like sarcastic is like, yeah, or something like that. I don't know if we got to the Zero games. He played the first one for the couple hours for the very first time. So I'm
The hardest one too.
Yeah, those games are nuts. I've only played just the very beginning of the first one. So we're gonna start the Mega Man DVD. I'm gonna show a little bit of it, and then we'll just kind of talk over it. I know this is the 5th time for some of you guys to see it, but this one. So since we're recording this for the 3rd time, I'll be able to actually export this and put it on YouTube properly. But yeah, Rob is set to play the Zero games. It's not even listed on this on the wiki. I can also see that we were sponsored by Mana Potions for that marathon. I don't think that was the first marathon we were sponsored by them.
Just got started on the Mega Man marathon.
Here we go. DVD started a little bit.
Through Mega Man 1 all the way up to Wily's Castle. Took us a while to get a couple minutes to get started, I think. But
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, but. So yeah, the plan for this is we were gonna record stuff, obviously from the marathon, and then put it on our store or whatever. Just as kind of, we hadn't recorded or had kind of behind the scenes footage of any of our marathons, so I really wanted to do that. I failed very bad on this because when I was editing it and stuff, it was on my old laptop, which I still have the shell of that laptop, and the laptop crashed. And so I only have the material that I had edited from that point and like put into, I can't remember what I'd saved it to like a thumb drive or something. Anyways, years later, I took that hard drive out of my laptop, and that footage was still all on there. And so technically, I do have all that original stuff, and I could go back and do a better edit of it all. But yeah, so this is kind of a behind the scenes look. This was the only marathon. This was the first marathon we did away from my parents' house, and it was the only marathon that we did at my uncle's house. This was kind of in like his theater room. Sorry, I don't know if the sound is mixing too well with my voice. I'll turn it down even a little bit more. But yeah, so we know for sure Cameron's playing Mega Man 1 here, and I saw the NES in one of the shots. I know that. I think Daniel wanted to play on the original hardware.
Yeah.
And Cameron had practiced on, I'm guessing this is the collection on the GameCube.
Yep. Kind of unfortunate. That has some audio issues.
The GameCube one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Like,
does?
whenever the sound effects, like whenever there are multiple sound effects going on, they just like multiply in volume, and it's really ear piercing and horrible.
So for this one, I can see we're zooming in there. We used to have kind of a two camera. No, no, no. That's the only camera shot we had. So that camera angle kind of gave it was like a view of the entire room. No, no, no. There's two cameras. I was wrong. There's the other camera right there on the laptop. So I guess we would switch between the two. I should have found video of like what the stream saw. It's kind of crazy. I say this each time that we've actually went back and looked at this a couple times, like the DVD stuff. But you can see old usernames there. I mean, well, you see like I saw Mini Kitty there, Oculin. I think Jagger was in the chat. Should go back there. I would just go back and freeze frame that to see who we can see it's in there. There's Phil. Well, of course, Phil introed this. Yes, the room. I mean, it was. I don't want to say it was like small. I mean, it's bigger than. I believe it was bigger than what we were playing in my room. But we kind of had this this lobby area right outside there that had that we'd go and just play things. Well, actually, I might be walking into it into a second here. But oh yeah, here we go. Oh, so yeah. Afterwards, also the plan was for us to interview like people as they're done, kind of do like a summary. I'll go ahead and turn it up. Let's see what Cameron has to say about Mega Man 1.
What about number 2?
I don't think anyone timed it. I have no idea.
Alright.
Very professional stuff here.
You think you're going to do that good?
Not on one. One, my record's like 41 minutes before this.
Alright, what was the hardest boss in 1?
The clay guy, I don't remember his name, but he like
The clay guy.
He throws his like body parts at you, and jump over him.
Yeah.
It's like the very first Wily boss. It took me like 2 hours to actually get it to where I wouldn't get hit at all.
Alright, and then on 2? Final boss?
No, final boss was easy.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess on 2 they're all pretty much pretty easy.
So you're just like too good at it?
It's not a hard game.
Alright, and to all your adoring fans, what would you tell them?
All right, I'm going to turn the volume back down for a little bit. So Cameron, he hasn't played in our marathons for a while, but I got to say, when it comes to... So I know we always get crap, obviously for being called TSG and stuff. And I bring that up pretty much every video. But we do have, I think, a lot of really highly skilled people at video games, if you want to say that. Cameron is one of them. Like Cameron and Phil and Jagger... they are able to, and Daniel actually too, able to pick up games and don't require a lot of practice, like to be what I'd say is like marathon ready, where they show, give a solid representation of the game and don't die a lot. Like I remember when Phil's first marathon was obviously Zelda, second Zelda marathon, but we were talking about future marathons, like Mario, in which he played. I played quite a bit in Mario, but I know he played Mario 64 for sure. But I remember every time Phil would play a game, we were always like, Phil's just destroying these games. Like, how many games does he have, like, this really good knowledge of? Like, he played Mario 64, and then he played Metroid. He had the hardest setup. Hunters, yeah, he had the hardest setup, like, of all time. He pretty much just had a shoebox in which the game was kind of encased in, and a webcam was hovered over it, and Phil still beast at the time. But anyways, Cameron, who was just interviewed, he played in a lot of our early marathons, and he had some of our more impressive runs, I'd say, too. Like Super Metroid and really all these Mega Man games. And his Super Mario World. And Cameron now, I haven't talked to him in a while, but he works for a company that does trailers and promotional stuff for video games.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was showing me some of the recent work he did. He worked on some pretty big games. I know he did. What was the Final Fantasy spin-off game? That actually looked pretty neat. It's like kind of the chibi game. Is it? I saw Silver Moon was playing it. No, it looks like we're watching the Ranger game at the time. That was probably me. Like, turn the Ranger game on. I think this is back when they're having a good year. World of Final Fantasy. That's it. I was gonna say Final Fantasy World. anyways, Cameron did some work on that. He's done some work on some other trailers, but yeah, so it's really cool. He's actually getting to do some work in the video game industry stuff, and he always did really good video stuff for us too. If y'all remember back to the Mario trailer that we had with me and Tyler in the Mario hats and stuff like that, that was actually for a film project he had in college. So he did that as kind of a promo for us and also for his class, and he went on to do video work. So that's really cool. So something else pretty memorable about this marathon is, so the games got flipped a little bit. So I think Daniel was originally scheduled to play 8. I remember it being a debate of whether, when Daniel had to go during the marathon, this was like last minute, and we were kind of debating it, like, should we play Final Fantasy 8 or should we cut it, since we didn't have anybody who was really super knowledgeable, super practiced at the game.
Final Fantasy 8, that would have taken about as long.
Did I say Final Fantasy 8?
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, probably. No, yeah, sorry. Mega Man 8, which is one of my favorite Mega Mans. But, so I remember us debating it, and I was just really wanted to see it get played. Hindsight maybe wasn't the best idea just because it took us so long, but I wanted to see it represented. And the funny thing is that run and kind of some other runs, like I said, this was coming off of Final Fantasy. We hadn't really had a break, so I'd say that we weren't probably the most well practiced for that event. And I know that a lot of the GDQ guys or the Speed Demo Archives people were watching and stuff. And I remember going to that thread after the marathon. We got torn to shreds. It specifically Chase did, and it wasn't Chase's fault because, like I said, he kind of got voluntold in a way of, we got to play this game, Chase. Can you please play it? Can you play 8 and then play X3 through X6? So Chase played just a lot of Mega Man right in a row. And so anyways, I remember going to that Speed Demo Archive thread afterwards. And that marathon, Chase, I talked about this before, but each marathon there's kind of a person that always, has to step up and ends up playing a lot. I think everybody at some point has had it happen. Some people have had it happen multiple times. This is a marathon, Chase, gameplay-wise. Chase has had to step up commentary-wise a lot and do a lot. But gameplay-wise, this is the marathon Chase was in the forefront, which doesn't happen a lot. Maybe this is the marathon that scarred Chase from ever volunteering to play a game again. Because
what year was Halo? Was that 2009 or?
Oh yeah, he got kind of screwed in that marathon too. That was 2009. He played. Yeah, they made the mistake of playing Halo 2 on Legendary mode or something like that. And yeah, they got beat up. Look at this fade effect right here. This is high quality editing.
And then people told him in the chat, hey, do this trick. It's really easy. You just jump down a mountain.
Oh, Halo was 2008. That's my bad. Yeah, I think it was Chase and Hoover were like co-oping Halo. I want to add that into one of the TSG After Darks as a look back on Halo. So yeah, I'm going to play a clip here. This is Chase at the start of X6. This is after 8 was done. And this footage is some of the stuff I recovered, but it wasn't properly... So this is all the aspect ratios, like 16:9 by 9 or whatever. And so since this wasn't edited, it's just thrown in there. It's going to look all crappy. I couldn't figure out how to fix it. I could do it in like if I was using Sony Vegas, but I wanted to just get it thrown in here. So here's Chase at the start of X6 and his state of mind.
The heck?
3 weeks ago.
Tyler's over there
This
laying
just
on
happened, guys.
couch.
This is Taylor on camera, by the way. Young Rob.
There's Rob over there commentating. Chase over here playing the game.
Let's go look at Tyler. He's seducing people.
Young Tyler.
Is it playing? Is it recording?
Yeah.
It's hour 52, I believe. It's 10:10 p.m. right now, and We have been going 52
Bro.
hours and 10 minutes. So basically 20 hours left to go. Starting on X6 right now. And probably a little behind on schedule overall, but yeah, just keep you updated. Ron, what's the total donations?
4,000. 4,000 is the donations.
4,000 apparently. Well,
$4,000.
time to start
$4,000.
X6. As you can see, our area has gone to crap, kind of. And Tyler has been very distracting, removing clothing the whole time I've been playing. So, but I'm making it through. All right. Well, see you later.
So yeah, that was Chase at the beginning, and then I have footage of Chase right at the end. I think he gives the times on both of them. Cal pointed out in all the old videos, Tyler's always laying seductively somewhere. I laughed.
It's not just in videos.
That's just Tyler in general. He has this seductive aura. It's like his IRL passive ability. No one has really changed that much. Yeah, it's cool to look back on these because, well, a lot of these are almost like a decade old. It doesn't, well, I was going to say it doesn't seem like that long ago. Some of the times it does, but. So that was Chase before X6. Here's Chase kind of after, I think, completing everything up. Pretty much just being done toast.
Here you go, you can see my final stuff for Mega Man X6. Not sure what that means. Soul obtained. Rescue 89, clear time 5 hours, 28 minutes, and 14 seconds. That is horrible. I don't know what this means out here. Hunter rank. I think SA
It's like, what does this
super
mean?
Awesome. That's what we've narrowed it down to. You suck. That is, what is that?
Sponsored by Magnify.
This is why we don't let Rob touch things. This is why we don't let Rob touch things, guys. Did you unplug something, Rob? Rob,
I didn't do anything.
what did you touch?
It was.
What did you touch,
It
Rob?
was Ference.
It started having its own rave party.
Let's see some raving. Come on. This one little give you a beat. Here, here.
What?
That's all he's got. Taylor, how exciting was watching my boss fight? Be honest.
It was. I don't think it was exciting. It was more of a. It was more of a depressing.
That's the mic. That's the mic. Depressing?
Yes, depressing.
Why is that?
Because you did not know any of the fights. And
Taylor's just calling him out.
not even. I probably felt like I'd have instead of 5 hours, it'd be 10 hours.
Do you think you could have beat the games faster?
No,
Do you think you could beat the games faster?
no.
Rob,
Do you think
you're
you could
fired.
beat
You're the
games
worst reporter.
slower? Fired you this way.
Yes. Well,
You're an idiot.
no.
We have top tier content here.
Not even tired. Can't answer my questions for me.
Look at that. No one is here sleeping. They all left us.
It's a turtle.
But check all our stuff out.
There was another video with Oscar that I meant to put on here where it was like Taylor interviewing him mid gameplay, and Tyler and Chase and Oscar were giving like a time update and stuff, and like how long they've been playing. You can see we destroyed some Chips Ahoy. I think, oh yeah, Wiener Schnitzel. I remember I think Tyler and Phil had went on a Wiener Schnitzel trip at some point. Thank you for the bits there, Silvermoon. So Phil in the chat just asked about do you still have the footage of him talking to a dude at Walmart about Madden? Oh my gosh. I think Rob said he found it not that long ago. We need to put that in TSG After Dark at some point. There was something else I wanted to note about this marathon. So, oh yeah, this marathon, it was for the Earth Day Network. So we actually did some of the commentary outside, as you can see in this picture right here. This is when we had Gengar come out during one of Rob's commentary shifts. This was like out on my parents' front porch. We're like, hey, let's Earth Day Network. Let's do something different. Let's do some outside commentary. And I remember, so this was in August, which, as a lot of you can attest to, they've been down here. Even in October, it's still hot a lot of the times. I think what Space is in the chat. She was here for October when they had. That's when the fair is here, and I think the last time they went, it was still toasty. But there can be some days that are hit and miss that it actually feels like fall. And I remember during this marathon that it actually felt pretty decent those nights. And so we kind of lucked out. I remember doing the outside commentary. Yeah. Anyways, I could probably go on about this marathon for a lot more, but I don't want to spend an hour just on this marathon. Is there anything else that really stuck out to you about this marathon, Jagger? Or any, like, moments or anything?
And mostly just, like, how exhausted everyone was, like, from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we knew after this our next marathon was in October. We had a pretty big gap and stuff there, and I think it was still a really fun marathon, and I still have a lot of memories
like
for
11 marathons that year or something.
Let's see.
Like 9 at least.
Let's count it up here. Let's see. I'm going to go to our list real fast. Let's see how many marathons we had in the year 2009. I think it's 9. Let's go over all of them. We had Legend of Zelda, March of 2009. That's 1. Mother Earthbound, May 2009. That's 2. Metal Gear in June. 3. Final Fantasy in July. 4. Mega Man makes 5. Resident Evil 6. Pokemon 7. So we only had 7 in 2009. Still a lot. I mean, that's still a lot. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in 2008. Yeah. But yeah, we raised $7,188 for that event. And that is actually what kind of I think Capcom noticed us that event, or they heard about the marathon, and that they helped partner with us for the event that followed that, which was Resident Evil in 2009, and they did some cool trailers with us and or kind of teasers for the marathon and stuff we'd play. We intertwined, like some of the staff from Capcom were, and even I think some of the, I don't know, I think there were some developers and just like community managers and stuff like that did videos for us. So it was really cool.
That was pretty big that year. There was, if I remember right, that marathon, there was an anonymous donator that doubled the donations.
Yeah,
at the end
for Resident Evil. Yeah, or was
yeah,
it went to 16,000, something like that. Yeah, 16,394. Yeah, so I guess that's gonna end our talk about Mega Man 2009. I feel like it could go on a lot more about it, and I was even, so some of these first episodes I'm gonna try to see what works and what doesn't work, and I want to ideally have these episodes at the longest be an hour long. So I might tweak the formula to where maybe instead of 5 topics I do 4. We'll do a handful of these before I start making some changes, just so I can see and get everybody's feedback. Yeah, that was Mega Man 09, and kind of a nostalgic look back on that. The next thing I want to talk about, and still a look back on things, is the WeCast. So I was looking back at old articles and stuff like that, because I like to, with these, I'm just trying to find old stuff to kind of give you guys a feel of like how things were during that specific time, like around the marathons that we were talking about. And a lot of WeCast stuff was popping up, and it got me to thinking like how important the WeCast was for our success, like back in especially in the beginning. So the WeCast is the first, like, anybody, I should say Will D'Angelo, he was the person who ran the WeCast. He was the first person really to promote TSG. And while I don't know if it, maybe it only brought in a handful of people. Really, to do something like we're doing, you know, I guess really anything. What's the word I'm looking for? Anything I was gonna say like content related. Any project like this in which we're live streaming, which back then was new, but you need just a small start to kind of start the snowball, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And the WeCast kind of gave that to us, or gave us a big boost. I remember there was a member that watched the WeCast. His name was Marth. I can't remember the numbers after his name. I want to say like Marth 287 or something like that. And he started doing videos for us, and he found us through the WeCast. And really, each event the WeCast promoted us and got our start. And so I would email Will D'Angelo kind of before our marathons, and he would post about us. And the way I found the WeCast is I was a journalism major at the time that TSG was happening in like 2008. That was my major, and so we were having to, for one of our classes, we had to create a website, and we were supposed to blog like every week or every 2 weeks or something like that. And it was about any topic that we wanted, so I made mine a gaming blog. And so I would watch like other blogs and stuff like that, and I kind of did that naturally anyways, just because I was a fan of video games. And the Wii came out in 2008, I believe. Yeah, I think it came out. No, when did the Wii come out? I think it was 2008. Let's see. The Wii came out. Watch me be way off. Nintendo Wii. Let's check it out on the. Let's check it out on Wiki here. The Wii came out in. Wait. This can't be right. This is some dumb thing. 2006. Okay. So the Wii came out in 2006, and his blog was pretty much, as you could have guessed, centered around the Wii. And so I was a big fan of it. I always kept up to it. So whenever I thought like, who's going to promote the marathon, or how can I promote the marathon, he was like the first thing that came to mind, because it was, we were doing Zelda, and I felt like it fit right in. So went to him, and he was nice enough to promote us, and we were, we had never done these before. It was, we were nobodies, and he was nice enough to do that. And it really gave us our start, like I said. And he promoted us up until the WeCast ended, which was in like 2010 or something like that. And really appreciated that. And that's why I wanted to just show some love for the WeCast, even though I tried looking for like even his Twitter or anything like that, just so I could see like what he's up to nowadays. But I can't. He's completely off the web. But yeah, so shout outs to the WeCast and helping TSG get our start. Do you remember the WeCast at all, Jagger?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, I think the people that watched it were like, Ferris came from the WeCast, I think. But I know Local watched it as well. But anyways, that's gonna about wrap up what I wanted to say about the WeCast. Oops, I'm slowly. So Discord badges. For those of you that haven't noticed, we've started adding badges to Discord. Discord nowadays is really our forums. Are equivalent to what we used to have in our forums. Our forums were like the go-to place for the community. Forums in general have just kind of... There's still some forums that are still lively, but for the most part, they're not as popular as they once were. And so we jumped onto the Discord bandwagon a couple of years ago, and that's where most of our community resides, like the day-to-day hanging out, talking about video games, same purpose that a forum used to serve. And in our old forums, we had badges, which I was a huge fan of. What the badges are kind of like achievements in a way, achievements for TSG related stuff. Like if you took part in a marathon by donating, promoting, you get a badge for that marathon. we had all sorts of things for the forum. Um, and we're looking to do that on Discord. Right now, we have 2 badges, a Zelda badge and a Pokemon badge. So if you either donated or promoted in Pokemon, you can go to the badge claim channel in Discord, and claim your badge there. Let us know that you donated, and we double check on that, and then we'll give you your badge. And you just left click on a someone's username. What we're doing is we're using the roles as badges, being a little bit creative with it, and you can see which badges people have, and we're gonna look into like different mods and stuff that we can do on Discord, maybe that can make the system a little bit better, and we'll be making tweaks as we go along. But I really wanted the badges to come back. I know JD really wanted to as well.
Yeah, we got to come up with achievements or something to make up badges for. It's just things that people can do anytime. It's like no, you can just like go and collect the various badges.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly my thoughts on it too. I want kind of either unique or fun stuff or community related stuff. Like
Yeah, remember we had an arcade?
we did. That didn't work out too well just because that was when we were trying to reintroduce the forums. Forums were that, and the arcade wouldn't keep up with scores. I really wanted that to be successful, popular, because I like the whole, people competing against one each other, especially like a community like ours.
Black Duck's arcade. That was great.
Which one? Black? Did he make an
Black
arcade?
Duck's not an arcade, but the little flash game he made.
Oh yeah.
He used to make flash games all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to.
Probably before my time, actually.
But yeah. So we'll try to come up with some unique stuff, whether it's like participating in community nights and stuff like that.
The Pac-Man arcade had that one level where, like, after you beat it, it showed Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man getting it on.
Which version of Pac-Man was that?
It was just whatever we used for the arcade, for the forums. It was, like, not an official Pac-Man, obviously, but it's, like, basically Pac-Man.
And none of those scores, like, the problem was it wasn't keeping the scores correctly, right? Like, I don't think, because what we wanted is, like, say Jagger played and beat Pac-Man and had a score. We wanted someone to be able, I can take down Baltus's score, or not Jagger's score, whoever's score was on top. So you could see like a community leaderboard, but it wasn't, for some reason, it wasn't working. I know local worked like super hard to try to get to work, and I don't think it ended up working. We got the arcade games working, but just not the keeping score part.
Did we like have to submit screenshots or something?
Yeah, I think we had a forum part where it was just like something like that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's Discord badges. And yeah, like Jagger said, we'll come up with some new fun ones. All right, up next, Soulsborne prep. So this marathon is, obviously these games are hard, relatively speaking. And so we've already started practicing some of, like, me, Baltus, and Rob started playing a little bit of Bloodborne. Me, Baltus, and Tyler, we've gone through that game a lot together, just on our own, just for fun and stuff. And so Rob is doing some sort of Bloodborne run. So me and Baltus like, hey, come play with us, and we'll, kind of show you some tips and stuff like that. And it's went really well so far. And we're still trying to come up and see what runs we're exactly doing in Soulsborne. So if you're watching and you're coming down to the marathon and you want to take part and stuff, we have the sign up section in Discord. There's going to be speed runs. There'll be completely blind runs. There'll be goofy runs. There's going to be everything under the sun for this marathon. Probably not a whole lot of speedruns for this one, just because it's a tough game to get down in this short of time. And I know myself personally, I'm playing Demon Souls, and I've practice the glitch that I'm needing to do. I'm glad I'm playing Demon Souls because the glitch in it to dupe is like so easy, and the time isn't going to be phenomenal by any means, but I just want to be able to show the game in its completion and be able to do some tricks and stuff like that. So I'm playing Demon Souls. Rob is playing Bloodborne. I think me and Baltus, we're still talking about it and stuff, but we might be doing some sort of co-op type thing. Tyler's going to be playing Dark Souls 2. Kevy's going to be playing Dark Souls 1 and 3. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but practice has begun, and we're going to probably have to be pretty creative in terms of filling time with this. And I've already had a meeting with... so we're doing this for Direct Relief International, and the guys over at Zeldathon, Campy, and Super MC Gamer work for Direct Relief, so we've gotten in touch with them, and they're going to be helping us out on some things like hardware-wise, and I think they're also going to be trying to come down and actually attend the marathon. Not 100% sure on that, so I don't want to like falsely commit them to they're not obligated to come to the marathon, but hopefully they are coming down to the event. I think they are. Campy came down during our Zelda Marathon, our anniversary event. So, yeah, I think they're going to be down for Soulsborne. So if you haven't got a chance to meet some of the Zeldathon crew, I know that y'all have met Doug and you've met Campy, and hopefully you'll get to see Super MC. We'll have to see. It should be a lot of fun. I've got like a notebook of stunts, I guess you'd say. Yeah, that's the best way of stunts, challenges, and things like that. Because each marathon we get in a couple of new things that we like to try for donations. But I do a really bad job of, in between marathons, taking all the ideas that we have and then making sure they get actually like executed during the event. So my goal is to do a better job of that, and I've started doing for these marathons in Discord kind of like brainstorm sessions. We've already had the first one, and we're going to do like a handful of those, I think, in between events, just so you guys can see more pizza and little nibs and just a lot of bizarre stuff. Watching Camp Fan Gamers marathon really got me motivated, seeing their... Obviously, we can't do something as elaborate as their wheel. That thing was crazy. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they had this functional Wheel of Fortune like style wheel that was even more... There was more gadgets to it than the Wheel of Fortune wheel. When they spun it, it would randomly choose... It was called the Wheel of Obligation. So someone would donate, say they donated $5. They would spin the wheel, and there was lights all over this wheel lighting up different multiplications, or it would be like ×2 or something like that, and you would have to donate whatever amount times what was on the board. And there was also some other things, but it would light up the different things, and it was crazy. But anyways, watching not only that, but the other stuff they did, I was like, I really wanted to add in, because we've got some great ideas, and we've done
We had a wheel once. It didn't work very well.
Yeah, Anna did the art for it. It was just... What did we call it? Was it the wheel? I don't know.
Wheel of Destiny?
I think it was the... No, that was from the show. Wasn't there a Wheel of Destiny? Turn, turn, turn.
That was Morality.
Oh, Wheel of Morality. Did we just call it the Wheel of Destiny? Let me see if I can pull it up real fast.
I remember, like, the day of the marathon, like, when we were getting... Or, no, like the night before, we were physically making a wheel. And it turned out to... just like it would always fall on the same space every time because of balance issues, weighting issues.
Yeah, I'm trying to find... I actually ran across this. Let's see. Here we go.
Local made a digital one that was a lot more fair.
I think I found... Oh, man. I'll pull it up for our next... for our next TSG After Dark. But yeah, local made a digital one. We had a physical one, and Anna did all the art for the stuff around it for the different stunts. I can list what was on there. There was pickle juice snow cone, chubby bunny, Mountain Dew and Doritos cereal, ghost pepper shake, cinnamon spoon, tuna milkshake, gut check chess, a game of chess in which pieces have a shot glass on top of them. Each time you lose a piece, you have to drink whatever on the shot glass. I don't know if that one actually made the wheel. Barrel rolls, karaoke, ghost pepper, Sharpie drive-through. We draw all over a person's face. Person then has to go through the drive-through. P90X routine. I know that was on the wheel because I think Phil landed on that a couple of times. And I don't know if Sharpie drive-through actually made it onto the wheel. But anyways, I want to do some more of that stuff.
Drive-through was done once. I don't know if it was because of the wheel or something else.
Maybe it was. Maybe it did end up making it to the wheel. One bus says, I remember the wheel not working out too well because it would be like 3 a.m. and people would be like, for $10, spin the wheel, but I'm not doing 80%. Well, we created 2 wheels. I remember that. There was like a wheel that had like, I think the food stunts were taken off of them because, obviously food stunts take a certain type of, not everybody wants to eat a ghost pepper type deal. So we had another wheel, but,
and of course health issues.
Yeah, exactly. So we did end up having another wheel, but what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I want to bring back some other ideas, and people have been throwing out great ideas for for the marathons and stuff like that, and have them kind of pre-set up, not necessarily for specific times, but just sitting there to where if someone wants to do it and they're commentating and they're like, you know what? Let's bust this out. Then we would do it. Wasn't the wheel big enough for 5 stunts? Whoever spun could put what they want on it. Oh, that was the second one. Man, you guys have way better memory than I do. Yeah, that was the second. The second wheel allowed you to place the stunts on it. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, so that's some of the prep we've been doing for Soulsborne so far. And this marathon is going to be here before you know it. I can't believe we're already 1 week into August. The Soulsborne is October 12th to the 15th for Direct Relief International. And 72 hours straight of the Soulsborne series. You've got all the games being represented. Dark Souls 1 through 3, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne. And there's even some talk, maybe we'll have some Soulsborne inspired games possibly. We'll have to see. Let's see. What's up, Tails? That's two-tailed fox. Alright, so last but not least, we're going to go into story time. To close out, I always like to try to think of like different stories through the course of TSG's life, and the reason why this story came to mind is because, like I just said, Camp Fangamer just happened, and it reminded me of when me, Rob, JD, and my brother Chase all went to Camp Fangamer in 2016, and so we kind of were pre-planning for the marathon. What are we going to do on the road trip and stuff like that, or switching out how many food stops and all that. And JD was actually nice enough that JD could have flown like directly to the marathon, but JD's like, hey, I'll fly to DFW, and then I'll drive with you guys in the rental car, so it won't be as bad, so if we need to swap out and all that. So I was like, all right, I'll get us a kind of a roomier rental car. Zero Flame says, how long is the drive from Texas to Arizona? I think it was like 16 hours, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And so yeah, JD, so he was coming down, and so we needed room for the 5 of us. And so when I was renting the rental car online through, I think like Rent-A-Car, I can't remember what I got it through. But what was it, through Enterprise? I don't know. Anyways, I went and they had like different options. There was like economy, there was mid-size, and then there was 2 like other ones. And I picked I picked the one that sounded like spacious. It was called. It said like the amount of people you could fit, and it was like 5 to 6. I was like, all right, there's 5 of us, so I mean that even there's a little bit extra room there. 5 to 6. They called it like mid. I think it was called midsize, and I was like, and they had a picture of the car, like not the actual car that you're using, but just kind of like a mock-up of like what to expect on each of them. Like the economy looked kind of like like a Honda Civic looking thing. The one we chose, like the midsize, it looked like an old station wagon, like whatever, like it could fit a decent amount of people. So I go to pick up the car, and Chase is already in the car or up there with me, and I get the keys, and they pull the car around, and it's a Ford Fiesta, and I'm like, so I ordered the midsize car, and they're like, yeah, this is it. Or I'm like, this is the midsize car? They're like, yeah, and I was like, well, so I have like because I printed out like the receipt, and I was like, and they have like on the receipt like the pictures of like the cars, and I was like, this is the mid-sized one. This doesn't really look that way. And he is like, well, I mean, we could upgrade it for, it was like a couple hundred more. You could get like this over here. And I was like, we'd already paid for it at this point. And Fangamer was the one that, paid for everything for us. And we're like, well, no, but is there any other car we could get like a free swap over for? And he is like, no, I mean, this is it. And we were having to get the show on the road because, we had to be at Camp Fangamer. We had to pick up JD from the airport. Actually, so my brother wasn't there at the time. So it's just me, and I knew as soon as I drove up to pick my brother up that he was going to give me crap for it. So anyways, I was like, all right, we'll take the Ford Fiesta. So I take it, and then I pull up. My brother's waiting outside of his girlfriend's apartment, and he the look on his face is just like, are you kidding me? And he owns the car, and he's like, what is this? I was like, I got the mid-size car, and he's like, a Ford Fiesta. And so we're just putting our luggage in the car, and we're already having a hard time seeing how we're gonna fit even JD, but we got to get JD and Rob. So I pick up Chase, and Chase is of course complaining the entire time. And then we pick up Rob, and Rob's I think Rob was also so how are we going to do this? So, I mean, it wasn't well, if you guys have seen a Ford Fiesta, you know what we're working with. It's not exactly a 5-person car, but we go and pick up JD, so at that point we finally get to see what the whole 14 to 16 hour drive is going to be like. It was pretty packed, and so... First of all, everybody had kind of forewarned us that the drive to Tucson was going to be really boring because we're going through West Texas. JD, you need to be in here for this story. Yeah, both JD and Chase claim their knees are still hurting from that road trip. But so yeah, everybody's kind of warned us that the drive was going to be really boring. But I must say that was the aspect of I really enjoyed the scenery on there. It's really flat here in DFW, but as we were going west, it gets more hilly. It looked pretty cool to me. That part was cool, especially once you got into New Mexico and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. So before we got even too far, though, we had our first hiccup. So we get the car, we get JD, we get Rob, we go and get some gas because we're gonna be driving for 14 to 16 hours. I want to top it off so we can make the least amount of stops possible. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't gas. We did go and get gas, but the gas is not the reason why I messed up. It was putting the luggage in the car. So we're putting the luggage in the car. This is a new car. Anybody's a new car that knows there's all sorts of buttons. You know what the heck anything means. So I'm just kind of pressing anything, and eventually I find the thing that pops the trunk, and we're on our way. So we're driving. We're probably 3 or 4 hours out, maybe more like 2 to 3 hours out, and I'm just like, do y'all hear that noise? And Chase is like, yeah. I think JD and Rob were like, there's something going on, and I'm like, I feel like the car is like wind resistant, like I can feel the car like pulling or something like that. And then I told Chase, I was like, does the hood look like it's like wobbling to you? He's like, yeah, it does look kind of weird. And I swear the hood's like, dude, like jolting up like every couple minutes. I'm like, what is going on? So I pull over, and we almost had a Tommy boy on our hands. So I accidentally, whenever I was popping the luggage, I accidentally popped the hood. So we were driving with the hood popped. And luckily, cars nowadays have a safety feature. There was like a latch that kept it from like flying back or whatever, or we would have just destroyed the rental car. But yeah, like the hood was literally like popping up, and the wind or the air from just driving was like coming up underneath the hood. And I did not hear that. I still hear about it. I did not live that down for the rest of that road trip. Whoops. Video started auto playing. But yeah, so that was how the road trip started. Well, the Ford Fiesta we had, we almost killed everybody.
So if that's a mid-size, is the small like Power Wheels or what?
I'm guessing it had to be one of those like Honda Fits or something like that. Like, I don't know.
It's like a unicycle.
Like, here you go, guys. Here's the smallest one. So yeah, the rest of the drive though was pretty smooth. Like I said, driving there, I really liked it. It was real scenic. We were driving like, at least the way I feel is like when you're driving somewhere, like if I'm driving to Dallas or something, it's got like, X amount of miles to Dallas and it takes 30 minutes. And like, well, if I drive this much over the speed limit, I always tend to cut, like, if it says it takes me 30 minutes, it's like I usually get there in 25. So I was like, okay, it says it takes whatever, 14, 15 hours to get to Tucson, however, but I was like, if we drive 80 miles an hour, we'll get there in like 12 hours, because if I'm cutting 5 minutes and this X amount of miles, we're really going to cut some time. We made it in the like exact time that Google Maps had said, which like pissed me off. We did have several stops. Like we stopped in Midland, we stopped in El Paso. Yeah, we didn't end up cutting time, but I think maybe we made so many stops along the way that it just
that makes sense.
It just evened out. I'm not sure. It was like exactly, I think we might have been like 10 or 15 minutes early. But yeah, with some other memorable stuff I'm trying to think about, like during that road trip. I remember on the way back, we debated staying another day because as we were leaving, I guess it was monsoon season. If WoW Gamer is here, he'd be able to give us a better breakdown. It was pouring. So much so, and I don't think the drainage is like that great in Tucson because I don't think they get that much rain. Like the water was starting to like go above the curbs and stuff like that. I know it was like stressing JD out because we go to the gas station and JD's like, "It's not a good idea. This is not a good idea." It's like, let's just go. Like, I wanted to be home. I'm very much a homebody. I was like, at that point, I've been away for a while. I was like, I was looking at the weather radar. I was like, if we can last like an hour, we'll be good. Once we get to the highway, we'll be good. And I remember Rob's like, yeah, once we get to the highway, we'll be good. Not only that, there was a light that came up on the car, and we could not figure out what it was. It was every single light on the car it came on. It was like check engine, all this, and we're just like, Jesus, this isn't our car. Let's just get it back to the dealer or back to the rental car. It was raining so hard you could hardly see. And we're just sitting there at the gas station. I remember we're all just like, are we gonna make it? And so like we got to the highway, and that's when I think we all were feeling a little bit safer because we were more elevated. Driving through like Tucson though, it was dodgy. Like the rainwater was pretty high up. So I remember on the way back, me and my brother having a huge argument because over something stupid as we usually do. So I'm like a person. I'm hardcore into like checkpoints. So like the whole way there, I'm like, I like broke up the trip into like third or fourth. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, we made it to Midland. We're like a third of the way there. Oh, we made it to El Paso. We're over halfway there. So like it was one of the nights I was like, oh, we're almost to El Paso because I can see whatever. And Chase was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, we're almost to El Paso. And then anyways, I was like, yeah, we have to be because look, the sun's coming up. And he's like, that is not the sun. I was like, that is the sun coming up. And then I remember Rob and JD were just like, oh my god. And I was like, Rob, is that the sun? And Rob's like, I don't know, I can't tell. And the time zone, like we're El Paso, and like when you start to get El Paso, that's where the time zones change. And so I was like, look, it's this time o'clock. The sun rises at this time. That's the sun over those mountains. Anyways, we argued about that probably for like 20 minutes. I'm sure JD and them probably remember that. Probably at that point, we'd been together for so long on that road trip. I think we were just done. Yeah, the Camp Fangamer itself was a lot of fun. If you haven't been to an event, it's very, I guess the best word would be surreal. Like they have such like intense like. There's these systems they have like in place. Like for the event that we were at, they had these dragon points where they had their own economy and their own stock market in which these things had value and you could spend these dragon points on things like Game Boys and food and stuff like that. And they created this own economy at the convention, and it was so crazy. Like that's just one example. Nina, having just been there, she knows what I'm talking about. Phil, everybody that's JD knows what I'm talking about. They had these like huge set pieces like that would happen like throughout the event. Like I remember this guy, I don't remember his name, really tall guy. He came in with a this huge like monster creature that he had made like out of different bits of like steel and scrap and stuff like that. Anyways, it was insane. And yeah, it was just a really fun experience overall. I was sad I didn't get to go this year. Hopefully, if they have Camp Fangamer again, which I bet they will at some point. Maybe even if it's another 10 years from now, I'm gonna have to go. The whole time I was watching it, I was like, man, I should have sucked it up and went. The problem is I was running. I'm running very low in vacation time now, just because of all the marathons and stuff like that. And so I try to keep it. Each year, I try to keep it to where I've got my week-long marathon vacation time. I've got the Christmas, I've got the fall, and so I've got and then a vacation. We have random stuff that I have to take off for if me and Lauren are going to vacation and stuff like that. But anyways, that's the story. The road trip to Tucson was a lot of fun, and that's it for TSG After Dark. And guys, we made it through the entirety of the episode. I know this is the third time some of you guys heard this stuff, but this one actually worked. We did it. Episode 3 is in the books. The next episode will be episode 4, and it's going to be next week. I know I said at the beginning of the episode it was going to be 2 weeks, but I'm trying to keep this pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and do episode 4 since you guys got screwed out of back-to-back episodes. So we'll do episode 4 a week from today, Monday at midnight, and then after that episode, we'll start going to the every other Mondays. Anyways, I'll give you guys plenty of time, like heads up, so that you know. It'll be Monday the 13th at midnight. More TSG After Dark, and I really want to come up with more stuff like this, like regular stuff. Like one of them I want to do is a community night type deal. That's during the day, or at least during the evening, like a 5, 6, 7 o'clock type thing. So that probably I'll probably focus on a lot of like free to play stuff. That way more people can play, but not just that. I'll probably do like Splatoon nights, Mario Kart, like we have in the past. That's another thing I'm wanting to implement. Just to get more stuff for the in-between events and stuff to, keep the community together and like, active is the word I'm looking for. So, and this is supposed to be separate from our podcast as well. I think at some point we'll reboot the podcast. I know Mayday had some excellent ideas she wanted to do for the podcast, and this is really a thing that's separate from the podcast. I wanted to do this more of a combination of TSG nostalgia and also stuff that we're looking forward to in the future. Kind of like a TSG what's going on at the moment type thing, because while we do post on Twitter, we do post on the not the forums, we do post on Discord and stuff like that. It's cool to have just like a hour that kind of wraps up everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I thought this would be fun. I appreciate any feedback that you guys have about it. I think there is a suggestions topic in Discord. If you don't have Discord, I totally messed up the link in TSG News. But if you don't have Discord, you can also like tweet at me at TSG Brit, or if you want to DM me, or DM TheSpeedGamers, or email me brit@thespeedgamers.com, or you can use comment at TheSpeedGamers. Any way that you want to like pitch ideas or stuff for either TSG After Dark or just TSG in general, just please do so, because we're always looking for more ideas and more things to do. Anyways, I think that wraps it up. Episode 4 next Monday. I'll see y'all there, and thank you guys for staying up so late. It's like, what time is it? It's 1 a.m. my time. It's Apple time. It's like 7 a.m. So she's, I think, waking up real early. I do appreciate you, everybody who came and who did it.
Probably about 8.
Oh, it's about 8. 8 over there in Europe. 8 a.m. Kenny confirmed. 7 a.m. for Apple. Thank you, Ryazin, for coming out.
Daylight savings time or something? No.
There's one last thing I was gonna say. Yeah, hopefully, I don't blame people either. I know that the stream going down constantly probably would dissuade people a bit, thinking, oh, this is going to be another episode where the stream crashes a million times. But no, I think we're good. I think this is a great sign. We made it.
Yeah, we could upload this to YouTube and people will know, hey, it's fixed now.
True, yeah, and I will upload this tomorrow. This will be going up on YouTube for anybody that missed it or wanted to catch up. Because it usually takes probably just an hour or two to upload, so it'll be up tomorrow afternoon. I'm terrible at wrapping these things up. I'll see you guys next week. Later.
See ya.